Hello there, and welcome to Empyrion Galactic Survival 1.0. They have decided to take it out of alpha, so it'll be interesting to see what else they have added. I've already noticed a few changes. Now, if you are new to this game completely, I am going to be doing a survival run basically from scratch. I'm not going to be doing any tutorials. I'll try and explain things as I go and how the game works. But yeah, let's go ahead and start a new game. I've already gone ahead and set us up. We are going to be starting on seed 21970 in case you want to do it yourself. Let's just go ahead and title this 1.0. And we're going to be starting on the Arid planet here because this is a bigger challenge as you've got to deal with very high temperatures as well as oxygen problems too. There's not enough oxygen. You will need to be producing that as well as you go. As you see here, breathable, no. We have a choice of 4 planets. The swamp planet is a lot more comfortable. This is probably the second easiest of the 4. You've got this one here where you deal with very low temperatures, the absolute opposite of the Arid planet obviously. And then you've got the temperate planet, which you're most likely going to be starting with the first time you play this. But we're going to go ahead and give ourselves a little bit of a challenge, and to increase that challenge, we're going to be starting with very little equipment. This is new. Keep inventory on def. Toolbar items only. Nothing, which is damn brutal. Or everything. I'm going to challenge myself here. We're going to go toolbar items only, so really have to make sure we don't die. My progression is going to be slow, which will force me to hit up a lot of POIs. Degradation speed is slow because that's not fun. That basically is how quickly your armor and weapons deteriorate. I'd keep that on slow. It's really just more of an inconvenience than a challenge, I find. We're going to keep food consumption normal because you don't get as much from food as you used to. Ever since Alpha 12, they lower the amount food gives you, so I think normal is pretty fair. Same with oxygen as well, but we're going to make sure that we really struggle with the temperatures and the radiation, and we have to really keep an eye out for that. Resources are going to be few and far between. Small deposits with very few resources in them, and auto miners, whenever we get to that stage of the game, are going to deplete. We'll come to that whenever we come to auto miners. Again, if you're new, you're probably like, what is all of this? But you'll see. Enemies are going to be very, very tough. High enemy difficulty, a lot of drones, and very high frequent drone attacks as well on your bases, which is going to be a lot of fun, hopefully. The constructor speed is fast because, well, no point waiting around for stuff to be built, and the same with the blueprint speed, as well as the repair speed of anything that the repairs to. Again, why wait around for blueprints? I don't want it on instant, I want to be forced to wait a bit. There's got to be some time investment. But anyway, there is no blueprint spawn limit, and we're no longer playing with the block limit. This is pointless. This basically means you can only have a certain amount of certain turrets or weapons, and it kind of just doesn't. There's no point in it really. If you can do it, especially within the CPU limits. So this is fairly new. The CPU is basically it's computer processing power essentially, and everything has a CPU value. You've got to upgrade your core as you go along as well, so certain blueprints might have certain roles. You've really got to give everything that you build certain roles to show you all of that. And of course we're going to be playing with mass and volume so that we can't carry tons and tons of everything in a tiny little box, because that would just be stupid. Alright, there you go, those are our settings. We only have the basic deposits on our starter planet. Gravity is actually quite high for an arid planet. Normally it's 0.9 Gs, so I mean that doesn't really affect us much. It just means with my starter vessel, once I start filling it up with ores and resources, it's going to really slow us down potentially. 0.8 rads though, radiation isn't a problem, and we're going to start with light armor, but that's about it. So, are you ready? Let's go. Okay, here we go. So we've got some water over there. Let's also look for some mountains anywhere. Mountains that way. So we're going to find copper rocks that way. Silicon rocks down by the water, and around here probably some iron. As you can see, there's a bunch of wrecks which you can salvage to give yourself some resources. Go ahead and do that. So we need to commit on a route. If we go towards the mountains, it'll be very cold at night. They are really far away though. Really far. I think we're going to go towards the waters because we can cool down at the water. That would be good. We're going to go ahead and pretty much land on the wreckage. I don't think I've done this before. Ouch. So once we've awoken, we must... Let's press F here. Oh, we do start with a few supplies. Ugh, go away. Oi, give me my stuff. Thank you. You can just use the arrow here. There we go. So we've got an emergency ration pack, a detector, that's nice, ore scanner, and some survival tents as well. Medkit stuff is good. We've got this. We do have the temperature. Oh, this is a good lifesaver. This portable heater cooler is very useful, especially on this planet. It's actually necessary. So once you've found your bearings, what you want to do is you want to press the tab key, and I think it's the tab key, one of those keys on the left hand side. You want to go into your survival constructor in your kit here, and you can start building emergency O2 bottles if you want, but we have some O2, so we're okay for that. We even have the water O2 condenser, so we can start producing O2 once we have a fuel source. But the first thing you want is the survival tool. You absolutely need this, mandatory, without a doubt. Oh wait, we've already got one. I don't need two. It's quite generous actually, it gave us those. And then what you want to do is you just want to start picking everything you see up. If you can pick it up, grab it. A lot of stuff like this, herbal leaves. We got some, see these little hot dog looking things here? This is plant protein. That's how you're going to get your food early on. And you can make these energy bars with them, so go ahead and do that. We don't actually need this, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the trash. It didn't cost anything to make. So don't worry if you lose your survival tool. It's no problem. So the survival tool itself has a few settings. You've got defense mode, when dealing with anything hostile that comes near you, but it is very weak, but it's all you've got. Salvage mode, which we can use on stuff like these wreckages here. And the resource drill, which we can use on rocks. You can see there's something up there moving around. That thing's friendly, so don't worry. I'm going to want to grab some of this crushed stone. Really, we're just looking at gathering resources for the day. So I've already forgotten where that water was. There it is. Luckily we can see some of it. We've also got a resource about. So, you see this detector here? We want to have a little look at what's about. You select it in your toolbar, I've put it into the third spot, and we've found a bunch of things around here. So we've got, that's going to be a little hover bike. That's a copper deposit, we'll want to mine that out. And we've got two more deposits. These are probably going to be an iron and a silicon one. So you're going to want to go ahead and mine those. So this here I believe belongs to the Polaris, which means, yeah, our faction reputation will change to unfriendly if we start exploring these crates, so let's not do that. In fact, let's just leave this bit, this POI altogether. Meanwhile, over here, is there anything of value that we can gather? Perhaps, but perhaps not as well. What's this? That's just a random cargo box. So there might be some underground, but we're not really going to... And on the surface, I'm not going to spend a lot of time digging because it's very slow to dig with this thing. But we do have here, you'll see rocks with different colours on them, like this. You want to go ahead, this is an iron bearing rock, it's got the little blue through it. This will give you some iron ore, which you can then use a constructor, which we will show you in a moment, to process. So we've got lots of resources around here, lots of food, which is very good. Now on the right hand side you'll see a temperature, 29 degrees, that is absolutely fine. Our body armour can handle up to 45 degrees, that's not too shabby actually. And here, oh, look at this, this is a copper bearing. We absolutely want to grab this because we're not going to have a whole lot of these. So that is good. You can also use crushed stone, if you find enough of it. If you use enough of it, you can actually turn that into iron, silicon, or copper ores as well. So again, I'll show you that in a moment. Right, we found another little crappy wreckage, which, yeah, crappy is definitely the appropriate word, but there is, cargo box. So this has some already made components, which is brilliant. We can use that in our first build, which is really good news. So these trees here have fruit on them. You can use fruit to lower your temperature, or make fruit juice, which will also heal you up. As you see, we do not have a lot of health. In fact, we have so little, I think we're going to make some vegetable juice. Yes, good. That'll heal us up a little bit. We're also getting kind of hungry. I think we'll continue making some of these energy bars and gathering whatever we can. We also So you see here we want to get some wood as well, so change this to the defense mode. Or defense mode rather, as we're supposed to say in the UK, but because I watch basketball I always say defense. A bad habit, I suppose. Right, this will give you about probably 3 or 4 logs. 3 wood logs, that's absolutely fine to get you started. Don't cut these trees down because you'll get food from them. And again, like I say, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time here. We're probably going to want to make our way to some deposits. So, where's the copper deposit? 500 meters that way. I feel like we've gathered quite a bit. These little hot dog looking ones, they're the most important ones. Like I say, they're going to give you some food. And you absolutely want to get those. So the temperature's holding steady right now at 28 degrees, which is very fortunate. As you see, I've stopped moving around quickly because we've run out of energy. If you hold shift down... Oh, we're level 3 already. Damn, that did not take long. That really didn't take long. Okay, great. Cool. I can already spawn in the first thing I want, but I'm not going to do that just yet. So you get XP every time you pick something up. So I feel like this is... Have they lowered what you need to level up? They possibly have. Right, as you see here, we're getting quite hungry. To the point of starvation, so we are going to eat that. It's giving us some health as well, which is very nice. We're also going to consume that vegetable juice, just to give us some more health. Right, where are we looking? This way. Let's just start making our way towards the copper deposit. And I will show you how the mining works. In fact, before we get there, because we picked up those iron ores, we're actually going to show you the tech tree here. We're going to want to get ourselves a mobile constructor. So if we go into miscellaneous, down here we should see the portable constructor, that's what it's called. Double click that, we've got a few points to spend, everything costs points. So we don't need the portable heater cooler because we've got one of those, that'll save me a few points. Use that on something else. We're going to want to go ahead and construct that. Eat the energy bar, lovely. Okay, onwards. So here we are very close to this copper deposit now. What we're going to go ahead and do, switch to resource drill mode. What it does, it makes like a hole in the ground. Just dig stuff up, but you're not going to want to do that yourself. If you press F5, you've actually got a drone. And the beauty of this is it saves you getting stuck down a hole, which obviously is a massive inconvenience. You can also use your detector while you're doing that. Have a good look around as well. See where you want to go. We want to start heading towards that water soon. So, a large wreckage. That'll have something useful over there. So we do want to start making our way over there, I think. Once we've gathered this deposit, so once you dig your way down, you'll start gathering resources like crushed stone. Now that can be useful as well, you want to make sure you hold on to a little bit of crushed stone. But once you get close to the actual deposit itself, you'll see it change colour. There you go, this is the actual copper. Every resource is obviously a different colour. Didn't get any copper that time, that sucks. But this survival tool is particularly slow at mining. However, already there's 8 copper ore. We're going to need to gather about... I need about 150 ingots, I think, for what I want to build. So we're just going to go ahead and mine out this entire deposit. Okay, so I've just noticed if you double tap tab, you can then get your mini-map, like sort of do this. We are now getting a little bit too hot. Do you see that exclamation mark on the right hand side? It is 48 degrees, which is 3 degrees above the suit's tolerance. So what we're actually going to do, we're going to press F5 to come out of that. We're going to place our portable heater cooler, stand right next to it, and that will keep us at a steady temperature. And then we will continue mining. We've only got... Interesting. There's still 90% of the ores left. Meaning this is actually a pretty large deposit, which it is because it's only a small deposit. Deposits actually get a lot smaller than that. Usually your starter ones are very small, so I'm quite pleased with that. So our inventory is almost full. We can only gather a little bit more. There we go. Okay, I think that'll do. We'll get a little warning pop up when you can't gather any more. That's enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to start heading towards wherever those the large wreckage is. Yeah, perfect. And bounce our way over there. We've also now got this portable constructor, which I will show you how that works in a moment. We can also build a second one, which I highly recommend doing. Okay, so these creatures here, they are very friendly. They won't do a thing. In fact, they're just going to run away from you. But if you do get, if you do start to struggle for food, you can always try and kill those. But they, like I say, with the survival tool, you're not going to get a lot done. Alright, so we have discovered here the damaged hoverbike, which I'm not going to fix. I am, however, going to cannibalize that later. You can see the side here. The F stands for a fuel tank, the G stands for a generator, and in there, is anything good here? I'll take the 6 steel plates, sure. You put those in, this will become operational, and you can unlock those components in the tech tree. But we're going to go ahead and head over here to this large wreckage and probably set up a little camp here, because we're quite close to the resources that we're looking for, if I'm not mistaken. We'll bring that back up. There's the silicon, also a small deposit. I'm beginning to think, I mean, this is quite generous, actually. Then again, maybe it's because I did the Snow Planet start in Alpha 12, and I'm just not used to them giving me so much. So there is probably a box somewhere around here. I wouldn't be surprised. There is something. We saw that cargo box last time, or I'm just being blind again, which I do have a thing for doing. I am quite blind, and I never spot things. But instead, I'm just going to set up the portable constructor here. We've also got our second one, so let's go ahead and place that down as well. Our temperature's okay, we're almost out of oxygen though, so what we're going to have to do, put this here, consume our small O2 bottles, or at least a couple of them, and we're going to have to start producing some oxygen. But to do that, we're going to need some fuel. We need to power this, and we have absolutely no way of powering it at the moment, unless we produce some biofuel. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put copper in here, and other resources like that. And in here we're actually going to go ahead and put in the logs, and the plant fibres, and the crushed stone. Actually, yeah, no, I'll put the crushed stone in there. And as you see with the crushed stone, we can actually make stuff like this, but that's not what we want. What we want to build is biofuel. This uses plant fibres. To make plant fibres, you need wood logs. So I'm going to go ahead, let's get this on biofuel duty ASAP. We've got lots of plant protein, so we're going to go ahead and continue doing that. In fact, before we do that, more vegetable juice, please. Let's make some fruit juice as well. Everything has a perish time, as you can see there, so it will go off eventually, but the stuff here, that won't go off. Bit of a glitch, I suppose, and it's almost cheating, but it's technically not. If it's there and it won't go off, it's like I've got a fridge in my suit somewhere, I suppose is one way to look at it. So that's given us a little bit more health, in case we do come across anything hostile. And while this is at work, good, we've got one biofuel. Just go ahead and fuel it up. That'll last 14 more minutes, and it will produce oxygen in the next 75, and it'll be one of those bottles here. So, the threat of immediate asphyxiation has been alleviated. We can now go ahead and mine this silicon deposit. Please tell me that's an iron. Yes, it is. I can't believe these are small deposits. I'm starting to think I didn't set the settings properly. That was terrible English. What's wrong with me? I don't know why I'm grabbing this iron bearing, but because we found a nice deposit anyway. Grab it anyway. In fact, with that we can make ourselves a third portable constructor. I would recommend using at least 3. Also, I didn't bring the heater cooler, which could be a bad call, but the temperature is nice and mild here, so we're not going to worry about that. We'll just double tab, bring up the detector, there it is, go right above it, start drilling down. I should point out the drone does have a limit to how far away you can go. I think it's approximately 100 meters or so, something like that. So we're getting through this deposit a little bit quicker, only 60% left, and we've got, how many? 62 ore. So it's a slightly small deposit, but that's fine, we don't quite need as much silicon. But again, I am going to make sure I give myself a good 100, just to give me a few spare. And we can always come back and mine this if we want. So, you don't want to mine anymore? Is there any more? Come on now, there we go. We're getting there. I imagine night's going to start setting in a moment, which is good and bad. Good because we can handle the temperature a lot better at night, and bad because that's when you get some pretty nasty things spawn. But because we are in the starter biome, it's usually a little bit more gentle on you. So hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. Okay, that's 114 right there. Pretty nice, that'll do. Let's take a look. We're very close to the iron deposit. We also still have room, so let's go ahead and see if we can mine some iron in the same trip. We've got just under 3.5 hours until sundown. So, did there used to be birds in this? They added them in? Can we shoot them? Yes, we can. I know we can. There did used to be birds. What am I on about? I think they've updated the graphics for them, which is nice. Alright. Iron deposit. The problem is, okay, if you do sprint everywhere, yes, you get to places quicker, but it does consume your food quicker. If you have a look down here, to replenish your energy, you do consume more food, but right now we're okay. We've got so much plant protein. I've got it coming out the wazoo. Yeah, pretty good. Anyway, let's go ahead and mine this little deposit here. Get ourselves some iron. Okay, so that is just about going to do it, I think. Let's see if we can grab any more. I think we're full. Yeah, 595 out of 600. That's our full volume, and we just about scraped another 100. Brilliant. Okay, I believe our camp is over here, the large wreckage. Whenever not too sure, we can just use that to take us back. I said, pretty sure we're over here. Why is it pointing that way when we're looking this way? Whatever, I'm not going to question you. That map doesn't seem wrong at all. Sure. Not sure why I cut that tree down when I can't even pick up the logs. I'll have to come back for that. But all in all, a very, very productive first day. And a very smooth one too. Very few hiccups to begin with. So what we're going to do, go ahead and put the ores in here. And I forgot to get you processing. Oh. Right, go ahead. So what we're going to do is have the Constructor process each of these ingots. Basically, every 5 ingots, every 5 ores will give us 10 ingots, basically. So that's good. And we do need, I think, a bit more biofuel for our oxygen generator here. Ah, good stuff. That's good stuff. That's some good O2. Hello. Some asteroids falling out of the sky. Alright. There were those logs. Thank you very much. I'll take those 5. That's alright, isn't it? Just ignore the siren going by. Actually, compared to most sirens, that one was pretty quiet. Anyway, so the temperature right now is a very, very pleasant 20 degrees. And it looks like, well, generally speaking, the planet's average temperature drops. It can drop to -40, but that's probably up on the mountains. Then again, it gets way colder than that there. But our suit can only handle 5 degrees. Anything below that, it can't handle. So it can handle fridge temperature, and that's about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for all of these to process. In fact, enough iron. Let's move on to the copper now. We need about 150 of each. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the blueprints page. Now I have got a bunch of blueprints for a bunch of different situations. And what we're going to do is something new. Typically, I build this, the Nomad. This is available on the Steam Workshop, and it's a very, very good all-in-one Tier 1 HV, and it's got everything you need. It's even got a constructor on it, which is brilliant. It's got some storage on it. It's got a minigun turret on top for defense, but you don't have any Gatling guns on it, so you're not going to be doing any shooting yourself. You just have to hope the turret can, does what you want it to do. But it's a fantastic thing, and I highly recommend using this if you're doing a temperate planet start where you don't have a jetpack, because what I'm going to be building, you need a jetpack to... Actually, you don't need a jetpack to get into it, but you need one to get out of it. I'm going to be building this, the Desert Runner. This is a brand new creation. Before I put anything on the workshop, I like to field test it. So we're actually going to go ahead, put this in the factory. So we need to build carbon substrate, and we need to gather all these ingots here. Something we can do is use some of the components that we've already found. So you see these energy matrices, for instance, and nanotubes. Let's gather a couple of those. We can put these in here, and they count as a couple of ingots each. Plus, they reduce the timer because they're already made constructed components, as it were. So the carbon substrate, you're probably thinking, that's a lot of carbon substrate. Well, it's not too bad, actually, because all we need to do, for every one of these you do successfully build, you need 4 plant fibers, 1 stone dust, 1 crushed stone, gives you 5 crushed stone, sorry, will give you 20 stone dust. The fibers, I think it's 20 per log. And we basically need about 460 or something, so we're probably going to need a few more. Okay, so nightfall has now set in. I'm still out in the wilderness here, away from my little camp. And I've just used up my last oxygen, so hopefully we've got some more back at base. Worst case scenario though, I'm actually going to go ahead and build some of these, just as an emergency. Do we have a container? Here we should do. It's a fairly decently sized wreckage. There normally is one here. The resource drill. Usually a lot of things like this. There we go, cargo box. What have we got? Antibiotic ointment. So this helps with dermal burn. That in particular, dermal burn, you might get that from a very, very nasty creepy crawly that might attack you. So that's useful to have, actually. Who knows what we'll find on this desert world. Whatever it is, it won't be friendly. Anyway, gotta grab this tree. Probably not that rock there. I think it's a little bit too big. There we go, 3 wood logs. I think we're looking good for trees now. How far away am I? To make sure I don't stray too far. Okay, not bad at all, actually. There's our camp over there. Get this tree, and then that one on the way back. It should be all good. Okay, so you'll notice now it is 1 degrees, which is 4 degrees below what my body armor can handle. This does mean I'm going to need to hurry and get back to camp, where I've left my little heater cooler rather irresponsibly. Don't do what I just did. Make sure you bring that with you everywhere you go. You never know how long you're going to be away from your base from. At least until we get better armor. We've only got light armor, so that would be the reason why. This is looking good. Look at that. 5 oxygen. Oh, thank you. I will take that rather gratefully. Over here we've got, loads of carbon. That is amazing. In that case, we're going to have you working on biofuel. We are going to need as much of that as possible. Scratch that. I would like some plant fibers first. In fact, no. Take that. Now you can work on biofuel to your heart's content. Good. We're going to go ahead and take this. And what we are going to do... okay, of course, yeah. I've got it on my persons, haven't I? So if we go over to the factory here, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to right-click, drag half of that in there. Give us plenty. Go... Oops. Oh, what's in there? Don't build the wrong thing. That's a constructor. Shut up, I know how to play this. Sometimes. I don't know why I keep pressing F4. I usually use the wireless thing, but anyway, that's for another time. So we need 102 iron. There's no sense in using all of this. Go ahead and do it like that so we can keep some of the iron. That's not a lot though. Could have used the actual raw components, but that's okay. We need about 150 of these. Switch over. So yeah, that'll do. 124 silicon. See that there? Yeah, that's fine. That is absolutely Wonderful. So once that's done, we can go ahead and start the production. It's going to take 16 minutes and 54 seconds. Do you hear something in the background? I'm going to pretend there's nothing. But one thing we can do to pass the time is sleep, of course. Just go to sleep. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and set up our little survival tent and wait this one out. Our constructors will carry on constructing. There you go, blueprint successfully finished. Look how much biofuel we've got, 56, and it appears to be on the last couple. That's good, that's really going to fuel up our vessel nicely. Something I do want, however, is medical supplies. Let's go ahead and bring out this emergency CO2 tank. Let's go ahead and have some oxygen. How's the oxygen looking over here anyway? Oh, that's really good. Almost a full stack of the stuff. Got some water. I like it a lot. Yeah. 62 of them. That's very nice. We want to make some bandages. So these use a plant fibre, which is about to go off. Let's hurry up and not waste any time. They are about to go off, which is very unfortunate. If I can grab just a couple more in the next few seconds. Anything? Yeah, they involve basically plant fibres. There it is. Did that save them? Usually it sort of increases the perish time ever so slightly because it averages it out. That doesn't appear to be the case here. Oh, I don't think that's working, unfortunately. Well, never mind. Never mind. I think it's time to spawn in our our first mode of transportation. We never had to use the terrible motorbike. I would like to introduce to you the Desert Runner. It's, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like it aesthetically. To be honest, I guess it's just meant to blend in with this sort of planet environment. And yeah, like I say, it's only unlocked level 3. This is the lowest level thing I have ever built, actually. So, and the idea is it's meant to be very upgradable as well. So I'm hoping. So this thing here, right? It's only a tier 1 vessel, meaning that the CPU limit you have is 5,000. Now every block uses different amounts of CPU. For instance, let's say we go to our... Where's our weapons? Why am I struggling to find weapons? Yeah, there it is. These use up 720 every Gatling gun. But once you upgrade the core, which you use CPU extenders to do that, you will be able to put more things on it. And you see up here, if I use my jetpack, this is the only way to get in, by the way, through the top. The idea this doubles up as a drone hatch. So what you can do, you can come in here, and you can just sort of jump F5, and you can explore everything outside. And that includes, for instance, salvaging stuff like this, let's say. There you go. And you can do that all from the safety of your vessel. Pretty good. That's something you can't do in the Nomad. My other vessel, which is unlocked level 5. But then you would use the Nomad either, well, in a nicer environment or, well, just not in that way. We didn't go over there to the damaged hoverbike and cannibalize that. I suppose we can go ahead and do that. I mean, no, you can do all sorts of this. Obviously, this is, you can see now we're reaching the limit of the drone's range. Yes, copper rocks, thank you. For instance, let's say I want to go over here. Can't quite go that far. Right, we're going to need to fuel this thing up because the grass is coming in and it looks weird when you do that. So just pop back out. Let's grab as much biofuel as we can carry. That's actually perfect. We'll go over here, we look down here, we've got oxygen and fuel. We'll go ahead and manage that, and we're going to put in the whole lot. That's 490, that is a lot. So what is its fuel consumption? Currently as it is, it will last 4 hours and 60 minutes if we turn the thrusters off. Doesn't do anything, probably because I hadn't gone into the cockpit yet, the actual driver's seat. See, now it suddenly takes off. There you go, it is a hover vessel after all. I'll go over the features of it in a moment. We're going to need to load up. So, no, you know what, let's go over the vessel now. Let's go over the vessel now. Actually, I wouldn't mind putting some oxygen in it. I must make up my mind. So what we'll do is we'll put half of the stack I've got here. Oh, that's good. That's filled it right up. Very nice. So it features 2 Gatling guns. You've got a harvester module. This can be used to cut down trees. Any other features of the outside? Not really. It's got the thrusters are nicely spread out here on the sides. You've got room on top for 4 turrets. Again, the idea is this is meant to be a very upgradable vessel. So these kind of stick out a little bit. Perfect space for a turret, basically. So it doesn't look weird like hanging off the edge. Without the turrets, it does look a little bit odd, but I guess it breaks up the straight lines in a way. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. You've got plenty of room to add thrusters all along there if you wanted. As for this direction, I'd probably get rid of the thrusters. The blocks here to add reverse thrusters, maybe? And here you've got room to add more thrusters at the back if you wanted, if you needed them. The inside, though, that's where it's really at. Let's actually go ahead and turn the thrusters on. So, right, so that bit of annoying grass isn't there. We've got a detector, so this works better than this detector in my inventory here. This one will have a much bigger range. Actually, look out here. Look, we can see all the way out this far here. That's interesting. There's an SV there. Random thing there. Resources there. Oh wow, we can see all the way up there. So, yeah. And we've also noticed this Talon space there. The green faction here, that's the Talon. They're usually very friendly. Of course, they're neutral to you to begin with. In fact, there you go. There's everybody's faction reputations, as it were. The Xerax always start off hating you, and I'm always enemies of the Xerax. Gotta kill someone in this universe. Yeah. Anyway, here you've got these container controller blocks. So basically, this is for the harvester module at the front. Only features 125 volume, so we can gather a few logs of it. But once we reach level 5, we'll be able to build extensions for these, and that's why there's a massive empty spaces here, is so that you can place those as you go. Same for the ammo, only 125 for the Gatling guns, which is very little, very limiting. We've then got 4 cargo boxes here, each of 250. Another one here with 235. This is kind of your sort of tertiary one. These will get replaced with a container controller at some point, and then you'll put extensions all around. We've got a fridge there, so now we can, a bit too late, but at least we can put those stuff in. That's something, I suppose. Let's go ahead and have that. Oh, we're about to, yeah, asphyxiate. That was close. Wonder if anyone was looking at that going, you're going to need oxygen. Speaking of, let's turn on the oxygen. There's the ventilator. And we now have oxygen in here. If you ever are not too sure if there is oxygen in a place, press the N key, click on debug, and then press show oxygen, and it shows you where you've got your O2. Sometimes you can sort of get it outside the vessel if you happen to be in the right spot because of all these half blocks. Bit weird. Oh, whoa. Didn't realise I built a trampoline. Alright. And then if we do ever want to top up our O2 from the vessel itself, this O2 station does that. And of course, then that takes it all the way out of this. So, go ahead and fill that up a little bit. Yeah, we're going to need a lot more O2. Yeah, and here's all the features. You've got 2 generators, fuel tanks. Those are the O2 tanks there. Probably could use more of them, really. And 2 RCS as well. These things here, they're very expensive in terms of CPU cost, but they do help with the turning, and this thing needed it, because it is a little bit bulky. But now it turns relatively well. It's okay, it's still a bit sluggish. But once you upgrade it to tier 3, you can always add a couple more, or you can just add more thrusters, it helps with that as well. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to load it up. Yes, we are. Did I put... No, this is the one without the wireless detector in. Damn it. Damn it, I forgot to put a wireless in. So can we build... So basically... Okay, we're close enough to it right now, so that we can use that. That's something. That's something. In fact, if we press F4, we can connect to a number of things, assuming they have wireless detectors. We are now connected to the Desert Runner, and we're connected to Cargo Box 1, whatever that is. It's one of the ones with 250, so we're going to go ahead, and we're actually just going to throw everything that we have here. There. That's that box filled, apparently. So we do this. There we go. Cargo box 1. That's another 251. Thank you very much. Let's connect to you. put the rest of yous in there. Pick that up. Then we've got all this stuff here, so we'll go ahead and do as much as we can. Looking good. Okay, that's something. Like I said, there is not a lot of storage on this thing, but the idea, you'll upgrade it as you go. Alright, so I know we've not really got a lot of oxygen. Let's be real about this. We don't have a lot. Hopefully though, we can come across some POIs that might be able to give us some. So let's go ahead and disconnect from this. Brilliant. So that's... I probably should number these a bit better. You're empty, you're full, you're full. So we've got stuff kind of all over the place right now. But now it's time to, I guess, go exploring. I wonder though if I do want to maybe cannibalize the damaged hoverbike first, just for some base components. So if we go ahead, we go to salvage. Now one thing I could do is put a core in it and then get components back as full components, but I don't really want to do that. It's not really worth it. This thing's particularly small, so I don't think it's worth doing that. But this should give us a little bit, so let's see what it does give us. Ooh, a computer, 1 mechanical components, 3 electronics. That's pretty nice. Computer's always quite heavy, 40 SU, 12 kilos. 3 optical fibre from that. Does this have any oxygen in? No, damn it. That's a shame. That said, it has to be, I think, 250 to actually get anything back from it. That's the only way you can get oxygen back, is in these rather big O2 bottles. Alright, it's now time to put the desert runner to the test, and we're going to do that by... I'm not going to go this way, we're actually going to go up this way. I want to see what this is, this random thing here. So we'll also unlock this resource along the way. So, damn, I didn't realise this thing was quite so slow. We are going to need to upgrade it, that's for sure. But it's going. I mean, it's much quicker than going on foot, and it's a lot more comfortable than the god-awful motorbike, that's for sure. We probably want to raise off the ground a little bit more, just so we avoid hitting any rocks. There we go. Yeah, that's better. And there we can see the Talon all around, so maybe we'll go and introduce ourselves to them. By the way, those things are friendly. Believe it or not, they're friendly. So we've got another iron deposit if we need it. Over here, we'll come back and mine all of these deposits that we go past on our travels here. But really, I'm just looking for points of interest. That's interesting. It's gone with red. Oh, hello. A little bit early to be taking on a legacy thing. So when you see these purple icons, those are very scary. Very, very scary normally, actually. You generally want to avoid those. That's interesting. Is this one of those Elders' tombs? I know I've come across these before. I believe it might be. Of course, we are quite near the Talon territory. So sometimes outside of Talon territory, you get these. These are basically, I guess, burial sites for them. And you can go and explore, and you will get loot. But there are also a ton of creepy crawlies in it. We should also see a few Talon around as well, so you can see what they are. I can see them. Oh, but I see spiders, and they are coming after my vessel. Get away. But one thing we should be able to get from here is some food just on a surface level. So the thing I don't have though is a good weapon. So what I am going to do is I'm going to pick up some... You know what, we're going to have to go to our unlock screen, go over to weapons, the shotgun, that's probably going to do. The assault rifle is useless, so we're not going to go for that. I just realised I'm going to need some components, aren't I? There we go. Sure, we'll take a bit of this. Take... There's, right. There we go. I sure do take the longest route to do things, don't I? Alright, let's go ahead and put this here, put all of these in, see if we can make ourselves a shotgun. We can. Brilliant, but we can't make... We need nitroglycerol, whatever that is. We can use that with plant fibers or logs. Take your pick. We're going to be able to make 2 of these, though. No, we won't, actually. I think for that nitrocellulose, we need... does it produce 20? Yeah, it does, actually, so that's pretty good. We're sorted, then. We are absolutely sorted. We can't build any ammo for the gats on here, though, which is a shame. A real shame, actually. And we can't even build a sniper yet, so if we came across a drone, a Xerox drone, I'm not too sure how we would take it on. But I guess we'll test the shotgun out by going after those spiders. Did I build some bandages yet? Yes, I did. We managed to build 6 of them. That's actually pretty good, I've got to say. A lot better than I was expecting. With the rest of the water I've got here, I'm actually going to start making some emergency O2, because we're still going to need some more. We're constantly consuming oxygen. Brilliant, we've got our shotgun. Don't think we need the survival tent so much now, because we have ourselves... oh, no more? Oh, okay, right, yes, of course. There we go, good. Alright, so we'll keep the shotgun shells here. Don't really need those alien thorns in our inventory. We should probably... Glad that we're able to get close enough to this just to sort of put things away, so let's get rid of the things that we definitely don't need. We'll keep medical supplies. We're spoiled anyway. There we go. That's a lot of shotgun shells. 180. That should do for now. In fact, actually... Oh, that's all you can make. We're out of copper. We're like clean out of copper. Can we take all of that? Good. Cannot use logistics. What about now? There we go. Put these resources away so they're nice and safe. You as well. Why are you not together? There we go. Okay. Just get out our shotgun. Give it a reload. Hello there. And when you do shoot them, they tend to run away, but they'll come back after you. There we go. It's a good way to get some XP, plus get some food as well. So, normally they're in packs of 4, but maybe they've changed that. There we go. Lovely. And there's all sorts of things. So, normally, if you mine, or sorry, you harvest anything, especially from these containers, in the allotted space here, like actual territory belonging to the factions, they will instantly hate you, essentially. But because this asset isn't actually in their territory, they don't mind us snooping around their stuff. So this is a great way to get some easy food. And also we can pick up, I mean, we don't... Well, I guess plant fiber is always useful, actually. Herbal leaves, these could be used for medical stuff later on. No surprise given the name. We'll gather many of those, though. Anything else outside before we have a little wander in? A sprout, more meat, coffee, natural stimulant as they call it. But yeah, these are the Talon here. Sorry. I would say they're tall, but it turns out we're just very short. Right, alien spiked lemon, that's pretty cool. And another sprout there. So these sprouts here, you see, we'll be able to grow our own stuff later on. In fact, we'll look at getting a farm going early if we can. So now that we are on here, we can press F4 to select various containers, and we can select our fridge as well. I'm going to go ahead and put these in here, anything food related, even medical related, I tend to put in the fridge as well, just because some of it needs to stay chilled. Right, we've only got a little shotgun, and very limited medical supplies, but maybe we can explore a little bit of this. Come back to finish it another time. Actually, is there anything else around? We know there's that... I don't know. We'll explore a little bit of this. I'm just a bit... Oops. Don't know what spooked me there. I think it was the noise of the Talon. We're just quite underprepared right now to be dealing with any POIs like this. But luckily the first few levels there isn't really much about. generally speaking, to begin with, you just find yourself with a lot of spiders. And we've seen what they are, so... well, they're horrible. Oh, here we go, antibiotic pills, that's good. That basically deals with infected wounds, open wounds, dermal burn. You'll definitely get that in this place. But we've got loads of bandages here, which is probably the best find. Alien honey, sprout, corn, fire moss scrapings. Those are usually used for medical stuff. Some spice, some grains. The spices are good. If we can keep those, the Varan root, that's also for medical supplies. Yeah, this is a good POI to, I guess, just hit up on the service level early on in the game. Nutrient solution, so that you use that to make your grow plots, so that you can plant stuff like that pumpkin sprout there. Alright, this is where we're going to start getting the creepy crawlies coming. So we need to go back and explore that way as well, possibly on our way out. There we go. They'll start appearing in a moment. Oh, hello. You're a big one, aren't you? Yep, you are. You're a high level too, level 4. Yikes. Come a little bit closer though, just so I can get a better quality shot. Luckily it's just him on his own. And we've reached level 4 now. Now I'm level 4. Oh, I heard something else. That's another one over there. Doesn't seem too interested though. They're starting to come in quite a bit now, aren't they? Try and keep them at bay. Alright, get a quick reload. Very good, very good. Like I say, good way to get some meat. And we can see one sneaking around the corner. Two of them. Oh, that's close. Hello. Okay, that was an interesting route you took. Acting like he wasn't interested. Alright. I think we're all clear here for now. Don't know why I'm doing this when I absolutely hate spiders. Right, we do have to keep our wits about us because we can hear them all over the place. Right, a decontamination kit. So those are some heavy-duty medical supplies. And those are also extremely useful to find. Have an adrenaline shot. I'm not even going to waste my inventory right now with stuff like that. Probably shouldn't with these stomach pills. Then again, some things with the stomach pills, you may never get a bad stomach until you have a certain disease. So you pick up a dermal parasite or something, you take the medicine for it, but then you end up having indigestion or something that can then lead to something else. It's kind of like a sort of a chain. Are they attacking my vessel? Are they attacking the desert runner? So they are. That's the sound of them attacking. I don't like that one bit. No, they're not. They're not. But you know what? We're going to leave it there for now. That's those were some good finds. Do need to be careful. I should probably lower this. Oh, there we go. Luckily, we can use the harvester module as a platform, so it's quite fortunate. Right, we've got a lot of medical supplies to be putting away here, so let's go ahead and just... Everything here is all medical, food. Really good actually. These 10 meat, okay? In fact, let me show you... Actually, not yet. I'll show you. Keep them in the fridge for now. Once we build a constructor of some sorts... Oh, you can use our survival constructor for that, actually. So that is nice. Right, let's test out this harvester module. Oh, that's a loud noise. Okay, so, let me show you how this works. Just pull up to a tree. Off you go. I can see a spider over there to the left. There we go, 5 wood logs. These wood logs will now be in this container here. That. Wonderful, wonderful. So that's an easy way for us to get some wood. Okay, so over there you can see a bunch of cluster of orange. That cluster of orange would be the Polaris. Oh, hello, Desert Golem. So these things here, if you can take these down, they can give you some very rare ores sometimes. But we're not going to do that right now. I'm going to leave you to it, fella. Just leave you to it. Look for some more POIs. You know what, this direction's good. There's some good stuff here. But right now, it's a little out of my league. Why don't we go back the other way now? I think we found some cool stuff down this way, wasn't it? So, very good. Okay, so that means we are out of oxygen in the Desert Runner. For some reason, I don't know why. That or we have a leak. What is that about? Would you care to explain to me? I don't get it. Do we have a leak? Show airtight blocks. I know those aren't airtight, but all the blocks around them are. Except for that one. Down here? Very confused right now. Do we have a gap there? I don't see anything. Looks good to me. Okay, how strange. So, just in case you're wondering, those things are hostile, and they're very tanky as well. They take a lot to destroy and kill, but hey ho. So really, what we're looking for now is a place to call home. It's kind of on the list of the things to do. There are a few resources around here, so maybe we can set up a home near there. We do want to set up a home near water so that we can get some oxygen going properly, like a proper water generator that we can then extract the water from and use a constructor to process that into oxygen. That's significantly more efficient than the tiny little handheld thing that I have been using. How many tanks have we got? We've got a good amount. We've got these ones here. These are worth 35 oxygen. These will top you up 75. So I think I'm going to have to rename this vessel to the Desert Glider as opposed to the Desert Runner. It's not very... doesn't really run. I should point out hover vessels move about 3 times faster than this normally. Yeah, this is very slow, very sluggish. It's yeah, I quite like it. I think this is going to serve me well. Anyway, we have just come across a rather sizable POI here. Perhaps we could use this as a makeshift base. So what have we got here? The UCH Heidelberg. And this has a lot of loot. Quite a wide variety. You'll get some very rare components for this. You see those thrusters on the side there? Those will give you some really good... They'll give you some really good loot, actually. This is the sort of thing where you want to put a core in. Your own core. The core being, just in case you are new, that component there. You'll be able to get components back as full components. Now they will be very heavy. Oops, got myself stuck. But you basically get a lot more bang for your buck, as it were. A lot more of the component. Well, you get the full component back. Whereas if you just salvage bits of it, you'll only get back a few components. No, I don't want to use this as a base. I think what we're going to do is next week I'm going to build my own base, I was thinking. That'd be kind of cool. Something we also do have is a small vessel there. We can probably cannibalize that too for some nice components. Something we do want to do is go and have a look at these 2 resources. It also appears we're about to experience a change of biome as well. Quite a major change of biome. I believe we're about to enter a radioactive biome here, which will have, most likely, a promethium deposit in. Promethium you can use to make your regular fuel source. We're using biofuel, which is very inefficient. But promethium, you can... Oh, but there's also some hostiles in here too. There's also little pentaxid rocks, which is basically space fuel, warp fuel. Yeah, there we go. There's a promethium deposit. But take a look there. The radiation's jumped up to 4.9, just below the temperature. Obviously, we're fine in here because we are in an airtight environment. That's why you want to build something like this to travel around. That way you haven't got to worry about the outside environment over the creepy crawly. Those aliens that we did just go past, they are probably my least favourite bugs because I think they give you dermal burn almost every time they hit you, pretty much. Spiders are more terrifying to look at, but they generally don't. They generally just hurt you. They don't normally give you horrible diseases or burns. Okay, and then we've got another iron deposit here. It does appear we're going to have there's nothing else around here. I'm surprised we've not seen any Xerax. We've come across 2 lots of Polaris so far, which is interesting. Don't often see that much Polaris. The Polaris are sort of like miners, and they enjoy trading as well. That said, you also have the Traders Guild, who are basically the same thing. Not a lot of variety between them, to be honest. No. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how the drone hatch in this thing works. Well, it's just that thing there. I should really close it over. I mean, you know, there's a force field there, so obviously nothing, no air travels between it, but if we were to get attacked, something could shoot right down there, right at our core actually, if it had pinpoint accuracy. Really good accuracy actually. We're going to go ahead and mine a little bit of promethium from the safety of the Desert Runner, which is probably going to be renamed to the Desert Glider, I think. Or the Desert Sausage Roll, I don't know. Uh-oh. I'm getting myself stuck. Oh, there we go, we're good. We are good. Alright. So, here we are, our little promethium deposit here. Let's make sure we're close to it, but not right above it. Very good. Switch to the survival tool. Want to go... There we go. Oh, a little bit of radiation poisoning. Do we have room? We do have room. So you see these little blue outlines? Promethium doesn't come in the same sort of style of deposit. It's not the voxel mining, this is the... I don't know what this is called, individual rock mining or something. Switch over to resource drill. And down we go. And usually these give you chunks of about anywhere between 10 and even 100 and something sometimes. This is a good sized promethium deposit actually. So we're just going to mine a couple of these. 40, that's going to give us a lot of fuel, you see. A really good amount of fuel. So, how many have we got there? Okay. We'll just mine one more. Only because the space is limited, I'm going to need to go back and mine a few other deposits, most likely. So this looks like a good big rock. Come on. A little bit closer. Alright, there we go. Whoa, 63. Very nice. Okay, so that gives us 100 promethium. That's brilliant. So what we're going to do is we are now going to maybe set up, find a spot along here, and just set that up as our new camp. I think what we'll do is I'll just put a little waypoint. Oh, we'll just travel north, isn't it? North with a hint of east until we find the water. Okay, here we go. We are by this rather nice large lake. Oh, hello. You're nasty. We find a little bit of a safer spot. This is quite a nice spot. Maybe we'll build a base here. Okay, there's obviously going to be now these big old things all around, but we're just going to have to make a stand here, I think. I feel like this spot's probably okay. Maybe we build it. Oh, and this little bit that sticks out here could be a good spot for a base potentially. Right. Park up here. Shotgun already. Anybody want to take me on? No? Take on me? Now there is, I forgot what they're called though, these horrible bugs that live in water, but it doesn't appear there's any of them around, at least not imminently. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up our temporary camp. Thank you. We probably want to put you a little bit closer. In fact, let's actually set you down. There we go, very nice. Power, no, thrusters off. We want to keep the power on because if we don't, the stuff in the fridge will spoil, so you never want to switch your vessel off unless, of course, you plan on having a lot of spoiled food. which I don't recommend. That's generally not a sound strategy. We've got these 10 pieces of meat here. What we're going to do is we're actually going to process them immediately, because the steak gives us, I think, 60 food. So that gives us a run of food, which is quite nice. Over on this one, we're going to produce Promethean pellets. And over here is going to be our regular old construction one, I think. So with the desert runner, I'm going to connect to, I guess, each one. Yeah. So you know what? We just move everything into this. Makes sense. I mean, because I can carry everything from every box, can't I? Look at it. So there we go. We move, because only 250 maximum. We've got plenty of space there. So I can probably go for 2 boxes at a time. Yeah, look at that. Alright, you just take everything. Thank you. Enjoy. Hope you like it. I'll probably use this middle one, actually, for raw resources. So look at that. Not you though, you can go in here, because the crushed stone sometimes it gets used in place of these if you click on too many of these ingots. So let's say I built like 10 of these, but I only had enough for 5, as you can see. There's 5 per one of these I select. It would then start processing the crushed stone, and we want the crushed stone so we can use it for plastic as well as concrete blocks, which is something I'm going to have this begin producing. So once you've finished your steaks, get you building some concrete blocks. Is that all the boxes? I think it is. I think we have moved everything over. Very good. Very good indeed. So, we done with the steaks? Should be. One more. Let's go ahead and start eating these up. In fact, we need to put down our oxygen generator. We want to refuel this as well. Where's the rest of the biofuel? Definitely want you just getting to work. Absolutely. How's our temperature? That's fine, 19 degrees. So by the water it's normally a lot hotter, so during the day it's going to be far too hot. In case you are playing this and you find yourself by the water, you're burning up, just go into the water. Your body temperature just completely resets, basically. So I usually find anyway, unless they've changed that. But that's how I managed to survive my Alpha 11 playthrough, thankfully. Alright, let's go ahead and put this in the fridge. Eat another 1 or 2. Our health is slowly replenishing, but that's great. We've got oxygen. We've got you working on concrete blocks. Probably going to want another few of those. So concrete's nice and sturdy. It's got a few hit points to it and it's very cheap to make. But we are going to need to unlock a number of base blocks here, so we're going to need a fuel tank. Interestingly, it lets us already build a small O2 tank. Feels like that should be the other way round. To be level 3 to build a fuel tank. We need a small generator. These are things we absolutely need. We definitely need cargo boxes. We'll want the small constructor. And we could get a food processor, but we'll hold off for now. Try and use as few points as possible because you don't get a lot of them. We do want the wireless connection. Very annoyed at myself. Do you want the ventilator? Probably. Probably do. Okay, and that means we're almost out. We do want the multi-tool. I didn't realize I could build that already. Oh, basically the multi-tool is like a better version of the survival tool without the defensive mechanic, as it were. So if we run along here, we can actually build ourselves a multi-tool, but it does require multi-tool charges, which use Promethean pellets, which is now not a problem thanks to that little bit of Promethean we did mine. So what we can actually do, over here, we'll build 3 of these. That will make building the base a lot easier, and then we also want you working on fuel. Do I hear the breathing of a nasty? No, I don't. It's just my imagination. All right. Well, I think that pretty much concludes our first week. We got a lot done. So next time is pretty much just going to be focused exclusively almost on base building and how you actually, how the game's building mechanics work. And generally speaking, people for some reason love to watch that. I don't know why, because, well, no, actually I enjoy watching people building this game. It's just, I don't know what design I'm going to go with. Just going to make it up as I go. I have nothing in mind. Maybe I'll try and put it right on the water. Maybe make a sort of pointy shape thing. I don't know. I'm unsure. Maybe we can have like a nice viewing lounge here or something. That said, I don't have all the resources in the world, so that might not be possible. So in the meantime, I'm probably just going to go around and mine these resources the way that you've seen me mine them so far. And yeah, hopefully I don't think I'll be able to mine all of them. That will take a very long time. Not very, very long time, but yeah. I'll just mine bits of each of them so we've got plenty of resources to build our base. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope I will see you next time.